Hello everyone, this is Johnny Glock, and these are the hands of Johnny Glock. And this is the Glock 42. First of all, I want to say this is an educational video. If you Google search Glock 42 trigger job right now, you'll see that I had take the #1 spot, and that's because I've done about 50 of these so far. Also, I'd like to put this disclaimer out here that Glock is a federally registered trademark and Johnny Glock has nothing to do with it. You can read through that. The use of Glock is merely to advertise the sale of parts, components. It's not really for that, but nonetheless, I'm disclaiming myself right now from the Glock trademark. So, the Glock 42, I've done so many of these now. Seen them from 6 pounds to 11+ pounds pull. Want to talk a little bit about why we're seeing that, and this is a gentleman named Tim from Seattle who sent me his 42. We've done some aftermarket sights. This is another really cool thing he's done, this aftermarket mag release, which I think is just stellar. You know, if you look at the profile on it, it's just great. And also, just like the 26 and the 27 and the 30 something, it's got this little extra. Pierce does a wonderful job of, I mean, is that amazing or what? It's like a totally different gun when you add this, just that little bit of pinky purchase. And my hands aren't small by any means, but you know, it just really adds to the recoil control, to an already what I will call the most ergonomically comfortable, pleasant 380s to shoot. If you shoot some of the other 380s, they're just god awful in the hand. They feel like they're going to cricket, they're going to jump out, even with that 380 load. The polymer and the way they have the gun set up, the bore axis and all that relationship, and the deep undercut here. This is a wonderfully awesome ergonomic gun with a less than desirable trigger pull. So, but that's something that you can remedy by sending it to these hands right here. Anyway, so let's go over a couple things. First of all, this is the trigger housing on the 42. You see how unbelievably small the window is, okay? That has my set screw in it. Here's the standard size. You know what, let's just really do it. Let's really compare them so you can see the difference in these. It's quite the difference, especially in that rear window, is it not? So what's happening here, and I'm gonna show you on this because I've already done the trigger bar work and everything on this 42. But when you get to this angle right here with your 42, since it's so small, when you get that ratcheting feeling, this is what you're feeling, that ratcheting feeling. And now the reason you're feeling that ratcheting feeling is because, and this, by the way, is the horizontal drop safety. If you ever pick up a Glock and this thing is sitting here with your trigger, it's a bad gun, boom, because if you drop it, boom, it's going to go off. This has to be somewhere in this range for this trigger to functionally be considered safe. And that's #1, safety. So what we're seeing now with these is, here's the top. Here, also this has this angle on this side as well. You can see it. Get a pointer out. You can see it right there, same angle. And when this drops down here, you can see it's still pretty much free of the connector. And the trigger spring in this works like a standard trigger spring. It doesn't apply any upward pressure or downward pressure really on the bar itself. Now, what we're seeing with the smaller one, and you can see both these are in unison, the trigger spring guide, it's different. The bar is even smaller. As you can see, this is a finished product here. You can see the shine on that Tim, so you know you're getting your money's worth, baby. There's the, you know, the work I did on that, the stoning and the polishing work, the stoning and the polishing work on the actual, let me see if I can get that, on the sear itself, right there. Those are two very crucial areas, along with this area, you know, right here. You know, you really have to make sure that those are very well honed, because they are contacting metal to metal here, and this is actually going to, this sear is actually going to flush up against the striker face lug right here. So once again, this is a worked striker face lug. As you can see, you know, you're basically picking up, you know, that's just that's a little baby mirror right there. As you can see, that's I can almost see myself in there. Yep. But anyway, so anything that's metal to metal, also this piece right here, which is the safety plunger, and you can see on the high end that is just so high polished, and all the burrs and anything. When you first get it, the metal kind of looks like the side right there. See that side metal? You flip it up this way, it's a completely polished job, high polish luster. And this comes up against here, and I mean, I'm rubbing this against here. It's beautiful. I'm getting willies here. Yes. So anyway, that is smoothness. So you're talking touching here, metal to metal touching here, metal to metal touching here. But with this spring system, you have to kind of get in here and hook onto that, slide over, and lock in. All right, and then that snaps down in. So there is a type of vectoring tension on this whole unit that you do not see on the standard unit. Now this has been done already, so it's not gonna give you just example of what this trigger feels like. As you can see, it's very smooth here. It's just dropping right down on its own. So it goes from right here and it just drops right down. From right here, drops right down. Very smooth. And if those of you that know what this should look like, you might be catching the mod that I did, but it's done to this right here. And I'm going to flip it real quick. But anyway, everyone yells, don't give your mods away. But they have not released these parts yet for the armorers or anyone. So when you send me your gun, I am using your parts. And I love it because it ups the ante. I can't make a mistake, man. I have to be dead on. When I've set this set screw right there and set the set screw here in the polymer, I get one chance, and I am and I love it. And I really love those kind of odds that you know, I'm not gonna blow it. Trust me. I've done about 50 of these, and if you talk to anyone that's had the trigger job done, there's a reason why I'm coming in at number one. So that's the feeling that you're feeling right here. It's all right. It's all right in there. Like I said, it's unfair because that's so dang smooth right there. But what you're really feeling is you're feeling this. That's the feel you feel when the standard Glock 42 feel. Okay, so now couple that along with, and I'm gonna start replacing some of these parts. This is my tuned spring right here that I do a little bit of this, that, and the other thing too. And I'm going to reinstall this. Oh, I did it wrong again. I do that all the time. New system. So, I keep forgetting it has to look like this. See? And this little part has to be to the inside because that's where it's actually grabbing. Oh, spin. That's where it's grabbing the safety. That's where this connection is made, right in these grooves here with the safety plunger. Push that out a little bit. Now remember, in Glocks, these two parts capture one another. So now you're captured in there. And just look how beautiful that looks. Ugh. Secondly, what you have is Glock has decided to use their standard 5-pound spring in this configuration, which is this. Now I'm going to ratchet this up for you so you can see. We're a little fuzzy here. We're back on. Anyone that knows anything about smoothness is going to know exactly what this spells when I move my hands. Look at that. There's so many. That's just not good right there. It's bunching, crimping. It's not, in my opinion, and even though it's a 5-pound spring, it really ups the ante when you compress it that much. It's not designed to be compressed that much. And there's also something inside of here called the channel liner. You're not going to be able to see it. It's a piece of plastic that sits right in there. If you think of these bulges on either side and see there's a little bit of tension going in there, you're not going to feel that on all your Glocks, that edginess, that grabbing against. So that adds to another thing. As this is traveling backwards, right here, it's going to add to the feeling that's just not a great, doesn't add up to smoothness. Let's put it that way. So I'm going to take this off, and we're going to put the spring that I've designed to use. Where is she here? And depending on the weight that you want, depends on how I design the spring. So this person wanted a solid 4 pounds carry pocket pistol, and you know, that's what, oops, there's the old Achilles. Okay, so basically there's one way you don't want to install these, and the video gods had it installed that way so you can basically see how not to install it. But the main thing is you do not want this end of this spring here to seat against the cups where the cups come together, which is right there. The seat of the cups to there. And I'm even going to move it over a little bit more, because sometimes they have their way of wiggling over. So now with this, as you can see, the spring is much straighter than the other one. And it's going to be look at that. It's going to be much smoother in the housing. It's not bulging. It's completely straight. So I'm going to drop that in there. Double check why it just did that too. Oh, see, it got itself back over there now. That is so interesting. How did it squiggle over? So once again, as you can see, paying attention to these details over and over again, that is the difference in between just slapping this thing together. All right, now we're in. Now you can see here, it's not as graspy on either side as it was. That's going to go down. And I think I already showed you. I showed you the striker face there. How we really spent a lot of time. Oh, I can't get it to focus, but spent the time to get that super duper smooth. All right, so now we're back together here. And I like to test and bring this back down now. Sorry about that. I'm not a big fan of editing, so I like to try to do all this stuff in one run. But I like to always test, you know, pushing here and making sure you can see right there. The firing pin is pushing through and the safety's working fine. It's retracting every time. Okay, so we're good there. System is good with the slide. Same thing here. I'll put a little push out here just to test. Make sure I'm 100% seated and all that. And there's, like I said, there was cool aftermarket parts. I believe in the beginning I showed you this part right here and that. So now we're just going to drop the drops back in, just like that. Drop in. And another cool thing, this gentleman's got a, you know, the chrome pins here. So that's another aftermarket thing. Put this in there. Looking at two things at one time, the video monitor and also what I'm doing. This is interesting, you know, as an armor who has to take these apart over and over again, you kind of learn how to finagle and push and pull with one finger and do this and that. But this is a new one. It's a new type. It's also a new type of and I always come in from the back. It's something I learned in advanced armor school, because it's just, you don't have to go through so many clicks, and you can see that went in rather quickly right through the back. And you can hear me snap in there, back and forth, test that. And the click you were hearing was the safety, it was the safety tab snapping out, not the click that I showed you earlier. That would be the sound of the, that would be this sound. The click you were hearing was that click. So as you can see, the safety is coming forward, and we are completely engaged there. Right there in the back of the frame, we have a nice safe engagement. I'm going to slide this on. And we do know it's a safe gun. And right here, I always like to watch that little dot right there. That gives me like a good indication of exactly how the gun's functioning, the reset. So we're right, so there you can see the safety's grabbing. This is the wall right there. Remember, this is a carry piece, so you don't want to take too much out, but that's the predictable wall right there. Safety, wall. From here, watch the dot. Fire. That is a very, very short travel. And now let's check out the reset. Dot again, see? And you can even see back here, all your other Glocks that don't have this feature, this will go all the way back almost to touch the back of the frame there. With the stop, the overtop stop travel I put in, and the reset, the reset adjustment, this thing is just running as quickly as I can get it to run. With, look, total positive reset. You saw it snap back out. You can see the light behind the safety right there as well. It's going to come out every single time, but it's nice and short. Boom. And like I said, this gentleman wanted 4-pound pull. And actually, that came in at 3.5. Wow. 3.5. Tim, I'll have to put an extra ½ pound on there. I'll call you first. But anyway, that was a very long video on the Glock 42. And he's got some nice Trijicon sights on here. Ameriglo sights. This is a nice little gun now, man. I mean, he is just going to dig this thing. So, once again, it's Johnny Glocks. www.johnnyglocks.com, or you can call me at 941-894 oh my god, 894-7114. Too many numbers going through my head right now. And you know, if you need your 42 worked on, send it to me. It's about you know, 3 to 5 day turnaround anywhere in the nation. I have an FFL address you can send it to, all legitimate, and we can get this bad boy running right to your specifications. Take care and have a great day. We'll see ya.